Welcome to the space where knowledge meets the action. Welcome to the Empowering Show, where we break down the barriers, helping you grow. Financial literacy, speaking truth to the power. Real conversation, changing lives by the hour. We inspire to change, here we challenge the status quo. Sharing tools for building wealth, watching your seeds grow. Empower you to take control of your future. No more living in the past. We're the authors of the suture. Get ready, get set, let the movement begin. Because empowerment starts now. Let the light in.
All right, all right. I really do like that tune. I think my son did an excellent job with that. Welcome to Wednesday, and here we are on the PA Empowerment Network, and this is the PA Empowerment Show. So we hope you guys like what you heard the last time you were here. We had a pretty good time, so maybe we can do that one more time again. So my name is Kendall Stevenson, and I am the host. Generally, we start this show off with something to be grateful for. As I tell you guys, every day that you wake up, every morning that you wake up, thank and be grateful that you're able to wake up, because it's no guarantee that you're going to wake up. There's a lot of things that got to go right for you to wake up in the morning. If you got a dog, pet the dog. If you got a bed to sleep in, be grateful for that. You got a food filler refrigerator, or refrigerator full of food, damn it, be grateful for that. All right, so we got a young lady coming on this evening, and her name is Kate Bess. And I've been waiting for her. I think she's at the door. Is she at the door? Let me see. Hey, how you doing, Kate?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, I'm excellent, young lady. I was talking my little nonsense before the show gets off and get running. So I understand that you're the person to talk to if I got a will, or my inheritance, or how about a deed? Do you take care of those as well?
Yes, that's correct.
So why don't you tell us a little?
My job's a
Go
bit of a
ahead.
mouthful because I am both the register of wills and recorder of deeds. Yeah.
Is that actually two jobs?
It is. It's two different offices. Physically, we're in one location at the administration building, but it is two different positions. In other counties, two different people will hold the office. Ours just has me doing both.
Does that mean you get two paychecks?
I get slightly more than a single office, but not double. Nowhere close.
Oh. Okay. So how long you been doing this?
I ran for office in 2023 and I won. And so I started my term in 2024. It's a 4-year term. So I will actually have to run again next year to keep my job for the 2028 start.
Well, I imagine it would be a position that, you'd have to be elected for, especially since you're handling millions of dollars on a regular basis, correct?
Yes. Yeah. I handle all of the transfer tax for when you're making a purchase of real estate. You pay 2% transfer tax, 1% goes to the state, and then the other 1% is split between your school district and your township or borough. And then, I handle millions of dollars of inheritance tax payments. They come through my office and then we deposit it to the state.
So you deal with the Commonwealth? Is that all of Pennsylvania, or are you just Monroe County?
So we're Monroe County. Sometimes with the register side, the register of wills, we'll get people from here who live here, but their dad died in like Allegheny County and they don't want to have to drive to Allegheny County to be sworn in. So they'll come to our office and we'll swear them in. We'll be nice.
So you cover a wide area, in other words.
Yeah, we can. Yeah. So we're mostly focused on Monroe County residents, but we can help out where we can for people that are far away from where they need to be.
So this is a personal one. How are you related to PJ?
He is my husband.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, we're a power couple.
I can see that. That's my man. He probably, I've known him for quite a while. Quite a while. I've been taking pictures of him.
Oh yes, yeah, and he always loves
and
it.
and the people that are around him. I like to do that. So is this something that you've always wanted to do?
Not even close. No. So my major in college was exercise physiology. I thought for sure I was going to be a physical therapist or a personal trainer. And then, you have kids and your life veers in different directions. I was working as an estate paralegal when somebody said, "Hey, you should run for this office because you know about estate work." And I am very interested in making things better where I can. We volunteer a lot, my whole family. So I thought this would be another way to volunteer. Yeah, I get paid, but it does feel like volunteering sometimes.
Hmm. Hmm. Okay, so this is not something that you wanted to do all your life. You actually wanted to get into physical therapy, correct?
Yep. Yeah.
So, how you said your friends and everybody encouraged you to do this? Did you? Let me ask you, how much education did you have to have in order to do this? Because it sounds like you would have to have some education to do this,
So
dealing
it's
with numbers and
interesting.
money the way that you do.
Yeah, it's weird how county government works because other than the district attorney, any of the other county positions, you need no qualifications. You don't need a degree, you don't need experience, even for like coroner. You don't need any experience to run for coroner. It just so
Mm.
happened I had experience. So I did have experience in real estate law and estate law that made me perfect for the position because I had dabbled in both as a paralegal.
It sounds almost like the good old boys club. That's how you get in.
Yeah,
It's not.
yeah.
It's not
Sometimes
what you
that's
know,
how
but
it
who
feels.
you know.
Yes,
Wow.
that is
Okay.
true.
But you still have to be elected into that position, right? So
You do. Yep.
it's not
Yep.
just it's not just the influence from the people around you. You also they have to know you and actually go in there and vote for you. So
Yes.
what you say Monroe County, do I get to vote for you? I'm in Sailorsburg, Monroe
Yes,
County.
you do.
I haven't seen your name on the ballot.
So I would have been on in 2023. I was on.
Hmm.
Mike Mancuso ran for district attorney when Nick Cirinello ran for sheriff, when Eric Deaver ran for controller. So that was 3 years ago now. We'll be all on next year. You'll see us. You'll see us
Yeah, I was here
everywhere.
for Mancuso, and when he was debating, who's the young man he was debating? He was debating another lawyer.
Oh yeah, Don Leith.
Yeah, I was here when that whole incident was there. I was doing the recording and the photography, and I
Yeah,
was at
well,
the
I was.
balls and at the
So was
bars.
I.
And
That's how we
did
got
you see
started.
me? Did you wave at me? Did
I
you say, "Hey,
did.
Kendall"?
I did. You took lots of pictures
Okay,
of me that year.
okay. Well, I hope you kept some of them.
There were a lot that were very good.
Hmm. So with this position and dealing with wills, how do I come to you if I need a will? Are you the person that I come and talk to, or?
Weirdly, no. Like I know it says that I'm the register of wills. I'm when your loved one dies, you'll bring their will to me to register it so we can open the estate. So that I have people all the time that'll call me, "Hey, where's my dad's will?" It's like, is he still alive? Yes. Then I don't have it. Like people think you make a will and you bring it to me to keep it safe, but that can't be further than the truth.
Well, how about the inheritance part? How do you deal with that? How does that come into play?
Yeah. So when someone dies, they have to open the estate, which means they come to us and we make sure all the paperwork's in place. You have the death certificate, the will. It's an original will, and then we actually will swear someone in to be in charge of the estate, and that then they do something called marshaling the assets, which means they're going to get all
Hmm.
those things in line. They're going to figure out what bank account you had. Does the house have value? All of that, and at that point, then they'll be able to pay the taxes, and then distribute all the money that is owed to all of the beneficiaries.
Is any of this take you to court? Do you have to go to court with any of the information? Is
So in my office, if someone comes in and they're fighting over who they want in charge of the estate, sometimes I'll have to have a hearing. Or if someone can't find their loved one's original will and only has a copy, then they can come before me for a hearing with that as well. More bigger things like, hey, I don't think my dad signed that will, or my dad had dementia and couldn't have signed that will, they go to the common pleas across the street and deal with Judge Jackson. or Judge Williamson.
Judge Jackson, Judge
Yep.
Janet Jackson.
Yep.
Yeah, she's a good person. I got an opportunity to meet and know her as well. I tell you, this little thing here gives me opportunity to meet a whole lot of great people just like you. So now here we go with the deeds. We
Yeah.
got the inheritance, right? We got the wills.
Yep.
Where does the deeds come into play?
So yeah, in my other office, I record, which just means that we're kind of putting it on record and then making it available to the public. All deeds, mortgages, satisfaction pieces, modifications, easements, a bunch of things. They all get recorded in my office so that they're now public record.
Why is this open to the public? I got kind of a little nervous. I went down and I had to do something on my house, and I found out that anyone can have access to my information as far as my deed is concerned.
Yeah, people
I
all the time.
didn't like that.
Yeah. Well, I guess that's kind of a state thing. I guess they decided what documents should be made public record and what shouldn't be. So, for instance, I need a death certificate when I'm dealing on the register of will side. That's not made public. So that is a document I need, but we don't make that public. But your will, for example, that's public record once you pass. So you can go and see who, wrote out their cousin or something else in all those wills we have on record. But yeah, deeds are the same way. And I don't need your driver's license or proof that you own the house. If you come in and you want a copy of the deed, it's public record.
Well, doesn't that open the door for some criminality, some fraud?
Yeah, it does. In our area, thankfully, we've not had any successful, we call it deed fraud. We haven't had anything successful. In other counties, bigger counties, they have seen mostly either vacant lots or vacation homes be subjected to that, because obviously if they're going to list a property for sale and try to sell it, people are going to be looking at that property. So if you're home, if you're living there, you're going to notice people stopping in the driveway to look at your house. So it's not so much something that we have to worry about in this area, but because it's public record, it is something that people can get their hands on.
That just makes me nervous that somebody can get a hold of my deed, and I don't know what they could do with it. They could change the name on the deed if that's the case.
So they would need to have a notary. Yeah, they would need to have a notary in on it, because everything in our office, it has to be notarized. So if they have a notary, it has to be a big scheme. This is not some like Joe Schmo fly by night guy who's going to do it. If they're going to do it, it's going to be a very fleshed out, crew kind of that is going to put it all together. We do have a program. It's completely free. It's called the Record Alert. And that is available on our website. And you sign up using your name or your tax code number. And then if something is recorded in my office, you'll get a text or an email. So it doesn't prevent it from happening, but it tells you right away that something has happened. And then you would call us and we would confirm that, yep, looks like there's a new deed on record. And at that point, then we can refer you to call your title insurance to talk to them about coverage they may have for you, and contact the district attorney.
Now you're frightening me. I may go on vacation or something and come back home, and my home is not mine anymore.
Very, very rarely here. And just make sure you sign up for Record Alert, because that they can text you or email you anywhere.
So where do you sign up for this Record Alert?
So that's on the county website. So it's monroecountypa.gov. And then you'd navigate to the Recorder of Deeds section. And right at the bottom of the page, there's both an instructional video on how to sign up, as well as the sign up link. And
let me tell me the link again, just so everybody can hear it.
Yeah, it's monroecountypa.gov. And then you'd go to Recorder of Deeds.
Let me tell you, I would really hate to come home on a weekend and my home is not my home. I looked up my home one time and they actually had it under someone else's name.
Oh, really?
Yeah, when I looked it up for what was it, Zillow or something like that, and then I looked it up under the address, it wasn't under my name; it was someone else's name. And then when I looked up that person was no longer here; they've already transitioned.
That's interesting. So with things like Zillow or Realtor, those websites kind of scrounge for data, and sometimes they don't care if they're getting the right data. So they'll go, they'll use AI to scrape different websites, and they may have just found an old owner of the property instead of yours.
I built the house here. I didn't buy
Oh,
it. And the property, I bought the property first outright,
huh.
and then I came back and built the home on it.
That's
And
very interesting.
when we first moved here, I've been here for shoot 27 years. Been here for quite a while, and I live in a rural area. And when I
Right.
first moved here, it was rural route.
Oh yeah, you had an
That
RR.
was my address.
Yep.
So all of this stuff is coming. Is I've already been here for quite a while, and then the address changed. What was it? Maybe 15 years ago or so. That we actually came up with address,
Yep.
and this is when this stuff started. So there was no other owner, just me.
Maybe they scraped it from a previous person who had a similar address, but that is not ever provided by our office or the county. That is just some website somewhere picking out that information. You can always
So
go to
me
the
going,
county website.
so me and other people that are watching,
Mhm.
we go to this website. You want to say it again, please?
MonroeCountyPA.gov.
Okay, so and also that will be up on I also have a website. It's that the PA Empowerment Network.com. You can go to that webpage as well, and it will be listed on that webpage as well. Because we got to find a way to protect ourselves. See, now you got me scared now. The will thing, that's the family playing games, right? Inheritance, again, that's the family playing game. But my home and the deed, I hear too many bad stories
Oh yeah.
about how people are getting ripped off. Now I'm of a certain age. I ain't gonna tell you how old I am, but I'm well older than you. If you take your age, probably add it twice. That's probably me, somewhere around that area. All right. So people in my age group, the baby boomers, we're the ones that has to be really afraid.
Yeah.
Technology has changed so
Mhm.
much; it's hard as hell to keep up with what's going on.
Yep.
I graduated from Pace University, IT masters, right? Everything now has a daggone app.
Yep.
I can barely keep up.
Oh, I know.
So, how are people like in my age group? What do we do to protect ourselves?
Unfortunately, and I go to conferences. I have talked to the district attorney about what we can do as far as preventative, but it's nearly impossible because what the issue is a deed is just a legal document, and anybody can write up the deed. They usually use the previous one as an example, and again, as long as they have a notary that's a fake notary or a real notary who's just interested in getting in on the scam, if it comes across my desk and it's recordable, I'm going to record it because we get hundreds of documents a day. There's no way that we could call every single person and say, "Hey, you're sure you're the one that sold this?" So it's really up to the notaries to make sure they're the ones that are doing their job, and don't let somebody talk you into, "Oh, this is my friend. Can you just notarize it for him?" without seeing him do it, because they'll go and say, I'm Kendall. I'm selling my house. Here, will you sign this? And that's where we get in trouble, is notaries who aren't doing their best job. And I'm a notary, so I took the classes, I did all of it. But if a notary's in on the scam, that's where the problem lies.
So let's say an incident were to happen, right? I go to court, we catch them, boom, they're caught. We know you did it.
Yep.
Well, what's the penalty? What's going to happen to them?
So in
Slap
other
on the wrist?
states, yeah. So in other states, Florida has an interesting case right now. It was a vacation home. These people noticed nobody was living in it, so they listed it for sale and they sold it. And then they took the money and kind of ran. They were charged criminally, and then they were also charged civilly because they needed to be able to recoup the money. Because unfortunately, again, everybody's title insurance is different. And if you're really nervous, I recommend you dig out those properties you had from the time you bought your house and call up your title insurance to see what they'll cover. But most of the time, you're not getting any money back. You're only putting it out. So you have to hire an attorney to then go after them civilly. And in an ideal world, you'll end up getting money back from them. But what if they don't have any money? What if they've already spent all the money they got selling your house? So there are two tracks, and it is, I mean, it is fraud. It's illegal. It's fraud. There's there's nothing to look at it differently. It's just bad people trying to scam other people.
Now, if they have a copy of your deed, just throw it out there, can they go to a bank or something and use that for collateral to gain some sort of money or anything from using it?
No. So with on that side, the financial aspect, there's really no way that they can go and get a mortgage or a refinance or a line of credit or anything using that, because that they're going to need your social and your ID. They need way more information. The reason that the deed theft works so well is that as long as they, again, have that notary to scam them, it's all in-house. They'll draft a new deed, they'll have the fake notary stamp it, and then that's it. It gets recorded. And it will eventually be overturned, but that does take a court case.
I tell you, with all your information being public out there, I don't think it would be very difficult for someone to get your all of your information. That includes your social security number.
Oh,
yeah, you put it on pretty much on every document.
Oh yeah, we see. So yeah, if for some reason we get a document and a person's social security number is on it, we do redact that. So we take a little black box and we're going to redact it. And so we are very careful of that. We don't want any kind of that personal information out there in the world. But there have been lots of data breaches in big major places that they could have gotten, your information.
Lord. And the way that, I used to work for the phone company, and I tell you, there was always a rumor that used to go around that all your information that went through the phone lines, all of it was recorded. All of it was recorded. And anybody on a certain level, they could have access to it. I got these telemarketers calling me. Like, how do you get my number?
Mm-hmm.
And then now the way technology works is, if I go online, let's say if I look up, I don't know, a scooter, and I decide, hey, I don't really want to buy it, whatever, but I just looked at the page. I turn around, I'm getting emails, I'm getting text messages, I'm getting phone calls from all these different companies. So it's like people take your information and they sell it to someone else.
Yep. Oh yeah, so there's a big market on the black market for data, because they just hope that one person is going to fall for it. That's all it takes.
And with all this information so accessible, it makes it very difficult for you to be able to protect yourself.
That's true. Yep. Now, there are some companies out there that will charge you. They'll say, hey, pay us $100 a month and we'll, protect your house. They just come and sign up for my free program, and then they'll get a text, and then they'll say, they'll call you. Oh, no, we've discovered that somebody is trying to, take your deed. So I always recommend, they sound great. With credit, things like LifeLock or, freezing those kinds of things, if you're nervous, or an option. But we always recommend you just go on and do our free deed protection rather than paying someone to, because that is a scam.
See, now I watch all these movies, right? These sci-fi movies, and like the corporation are the bad guys. So the corporations, they actually have like all these hackers on the side that will go in and do all this nefarious stuff to people, and they'll come along, the corporation, say, hey, I can fix it.
Yep.
You pay me a fee and I can fix it. It's almost like a conspiracy, but it's starting to sound like one. It is.
Yep. And people fall for it.
It's like with the computer. You ever see sometimes they'll come on you get a warning on the computer, and then you hit the warning and it tells you, well, you go to this website or you go to this number and we'll fix it for you. But they were actually the ones that created that problem.
Yeah, that happened at the county recently. One of my staff had unknowingly downloaded a virus through an email, and the next thing she knew, the mouse was moving on its own, and they were going over and doing different things, and we had to call IT, and they got in, and it was they shut it down before they accessed anything, but it was very
Well, they
scary.
accessed it already because they had remote access. That's
Yeah.
remote access. While they're in there and that mouse is moving around, believe me, they're collecting all kind of data. See,
Yeah.
if they got to the point where you're doing a remote access, they've already collected the data. So that's already been done. And actually, your IT people, if they there's something called detection intrusion. So right as soon as something comes in, if it's not correct, it's supposed to shut everything down automatically.
Oh.
So that virus can't go any further. And then you got to contain the virus and then remove the virus.
Yes, they did.
See?
They ended up taking her desktop and had to rebuild everything. It was fun.
Yeah, but see, now the desktop. This is funny. I know we're drifting off into another little topic, but the desktop is just a workstation.
Yep.
Which is actually connected to a larger server.
Yep.
So if it got into the workstation, it's already in the network and it's already in the larger server.
Well,
and that means everything that's connected to that server.
I
server,
was told they shut it down quick enough that we don't have to worry, but thankfully that's not my department.
Well, and the way that they set up the network is you have redundancy. So you got one server that's actually connected to maybe 3 or 4 other servers. So when you get a virus, it's going to go through everything.
Everything. Yeah.
Unless it gets stopped. So that brings me back to me being afraid about me going away for the weekend and coming home, and my home is not my home.
I promise that you'll be okay.
Yeah, okay. Well, if my home is not my home, I think
You'll know who to
me
talk
and
to.
your husband and I, we're gonna have a conversation about my home. All right, we got to take a quick little break because I in order for me to do what I do, I got to pay the bills. It's real short. Don't worry about it. It's real quick. All right, be right back.
A doctor's calling. A company's mission. United for a greater good. When Edmark International, the pioneers of wellness, joined forces with Dr. LaJoyce Brookshire, naturopath, the world gained a new weapon in the fight for true health. Co-created, science-backed, nature-powered. This isn't just a product. This is a movement. Born from decades of groundbreaking research, naturopathic mastery, and Edmark's relentless innovation.
The body wants to heal itself, and we have just given it the ultimate toolkit.
A detox unlike any other. A partnership unlike any other. The future of health starts now.
Now I can tell you guys, I've used the product and it does what it's supposed to do. You want to talk about detox? It detoxes you, boy. I mean, it detoxes you. But we're going to get back to the show. So here we go. Hey, I'm back. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
What'd you think of what you think about our little product that they sell? Huh? It's a detoxation.
Very engaging ad. That's for sure.
Yeah, I tell you that. The young lady that the doctor, she's not feeling very well right now. So I wanted to reach out to her and say hello and hope all is well and that she's feeling well. Plus, we just recently lost a young man. His name is Chris Curry. I don't know if you know him. He was in the entertainment business. He's from the area. He worked at a lot of the R&B shows at Kalahari, and he organized them and stuff. But he was pretty well known throughout the county. He's a good guy. He'll be missed. He transitioned, but he'll be missed. But so now I asked you if this is something that you wanted to do from the time you were younger, but you said no, you wanted to do physical therapy. So what would you suggest to someone if they wanted to get a young man, whomever, that would like to do what you do?
To get into politics?
Well, you're in politics, but you're
yeah, I know it's weird, right?
Yeah, but you're more on the accounting side, if you want to say.
True.
You deal with a lot of stats.
Yes.
You deal with a lot of numbers and figures. You understand?
Yes.
So that's politics, yes, but it's not really. It's not like here comes the judge. It's not like that.
No, it's not. It's not. Yeah, like it's political in which I have to run for office to keep my job. But then, yeah, I'm not out there, holding babies and shaking hands every day.
Right.
Well, it definitely takes patience. It's something where I would recommend in my office, if I was hiring someone, they don't need a degree. So if you said, hey, I would like to work for the government, I'd like to work in the recorder of deeds office, the register of wills, the controller's office, it's pretty much, we want customer service because we are dealing with the public. Sometimes people come in and are mad. Oh, they misread their deed and now they think somebody else owns their house. We get that a lot, especially with older people.
What'd you say? What would you say? I didn't hear you.
Some older
don't
people.
mind me.
And that is probably the number one thing that I'm looking for when I'm hiring somebody is customer service. And then obviously, like, it's data entry. So it's a lot of being patient and making sure that things are correct. And we always have somebody double checking. So we have the people that are going to take your document and record it immediately. And then we have two people in the background that are double checking to make sure you spelled everything right and you didn't miss a junior or senior or something like that. So it is a lot of monotonous work, but I like it. It's nice to be able to help people when they call with a question or they're confused about something and you can answer it. That I get so many thank you. I didn't know where to go and you finally answered my question.
Okay, so if a person comes to you with that type of experience, that's great. But I'm young, and I haven't had an opportunity to gain all that experience. Do you think college may actually help me to get to where I want to be?
This day and age, I mean, I have 4 teenage girls. I have 2 that are going to go to college because the thing they want to do is going to require higher education, and 2 that are going right into the workforce because college is expensive now. And with the loans and the just not knowing what's going on with any kind of student loans in the future, I would recommend you go get a job as a tech in a law firm. Or, if you said, I really want training, some of the paralegal programs are not bad either. If somebody comes to me with a paralegal degree, I'm definitely taking a second look at them because they should have at least some familiarity with legal documents and legal terms. So that's easier. But this is, you are, even my chief deputy, my top of the line below me, does not get paid enough to have gone to college. So at least in my office, we don't pay great. And that is not in my control. If it was, I would be doing things way different. But we do not pay enough. I mean, every single one of my staff, except for one, has a second job to be able to afford to live. So I don't think going to college is the answer in my office because you won't be able to pay your student loans.
And without a degree, you won't be able to move up either. You're going to be kind of stuck in one place.
That's correct. But I mean, it is good to get experience. I have a couple young people right now that I've just hired that came from retail that were looking for, I don't want to work Black Fridays. I want a consistent schedule. I want health insurance. I want a pension. I want life insurance, and all that stuff comes with the county. But yes, some of the positions can be, well, where do I go from here? Like I'm going to make 60,000 max ever in my life. Like that, for some people, that's okay. But for others who are going to want to move up, this is not your end game.
So what's the incentive to take the job?
Consistency. So a lot of people like the consistency. It's you can kind of count on the same thing day after day. There is the health insurance. The health insurance isn't bad. There is the pension. The pension's actually pretty good. And there's some, you don't work holidays. You get vacation time. You get sick time. It's why a majority of our workers are either very young or kind of retirement age. They're either just starting out and are using this as a jumping off point, or they're okay only making like $20 an hour because, they're also getting Social Security. So that's kind of where a lot of our employment is, at least in the administration side. because otherwise, yeah, I mean, you can't support a family on what we pay.
Well, some people might think that that's a lot of money. You figure that's $5K a month, but they're not deducting how much you have to pay for taxes and
Yep. And
gas
you do have
prices
to
going
end up,
up and so forth. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. You have to pay half of your health insurance, I think. So yeah, at the end of the day, it's not for a family. Like if you're single, no, I don't have any single people. All of my people are either married or have kids, and so it's hard when you're trying to support a family on that. I do what I can to try to make it better for my staff, but it's a reality that I deal with all the time as as an elected official who can't control the salary.
Any bonuses or just
Nope.
salary cut and dry and that's it? There's no
Salary cut
bonuses.
and dry. Nope, they don't allow me to, so I do things. I go to BJ's and get snack for the staff so they can always have access to snacks. I do lunch and learns where we'll close over lunch and I'll bring in somebody from, like I brought in somebody from the aging office to talk about Medicare because some of my people were getting old enough they were going to need Medicare. And so I wanted them to know what that looked like. When do you have to start looking into planning for retirement? To try to give them a little bit more information on different aspects of their life going forward.
Do you think it's a little more difficult under this administration and under this climate to do that job and to give out that type of advice for Medicaid, especially when you got a president that's saying that we don't have enough money for that?
Yeah, I mean it is rough. I have one of my staff is 82 years old, and she comes in every day. And she's doing her work, but I do worry about what retirement looks like for her. And for my 60-year-old staff who aren't ready for retirement yet, but are thinking about it. I never know what's going to happen. And I always tell them that because they'll come to me for questions on, the administration. They'll come to me with questions on taxes, things like that, because they know I'm well informed. And I'll tell them all the time. I'm like, I don't know what it's going to look like when you're ready to retire, because we may have we definitely will have a different administration by then. But it's very frustrating to be able to give an answer that I don't know will be the same answer in a couple weeks.
Okay. Now we talked about salaries. So we're in an economy or an environment where women, it makes 70 cents to a dollar. How do you deal with that? And how do you combat that? Like you're saying, you're only making 60, but the type of job and the work that you do, you should be making at least 100.
Right.
And if it was a man in that position, do you think he would be making that kind of money?
So the way that the county has it structured, they have like different jobs classed differently. So in my office, all of my people are like class 4, for example. So I can't hire them anymore. I can't give them bonuses. They get a set raise schedule that I'm not in control of. So if I were hiring a man, he'd be hired at the same wages as a woman just by the nature of it. Some positions that would normally go to men, such as the positions in our sheriff's department and the positions at the jail, they pay more. Some of those are union jobs too. And they're typically, I mean, not that women don't do it, but they're typically done by men because of, the nature of the job. So they tend to get paid more, but they also have a good union. So.
And you guys don't have a union at all?
No.
Okay. Again, in this climate, here's a question that's going to hit you. I'm African American, as you know. How you guys are dealing with this DEI situation and affirmative action and all this other nonsense that people are throwing around? Or do you treat people just as Americans regardless? I
mean, that's never been an issue with me. Like I've always just treated people as people. I don't know how it's impacted our HR department. So when I have an open position, I tell our HR department, they'll advertise for it. They're supposed to send me every application they get because it's my job to root through them. Sometimes they'll cherry pick certain people and send them to me. Sometimes somebody will tell me I submitted my application and I never got it because they just decided to keep it from me for some reason or another. I don't know. So I don't know how up, the ropes, it's been handled differently. In my office, I'm going to take a look at every resume that comes through. We're going to conduct a couple series of interviews to make sure you jive. We're a small office. I have 9 staff between the 2 offices. So we want to make sure that whoever's coming in is going to be a good fit. And we don't look at anything any differently.
So here's one more punch for the office. How many African Americans, or if you want to call minorities, do you actually have in your office as a staff?
I have 2. I have 2
2.
minorities.
Okay.
And then
Well,
we
that's
have
good. That's 13%.
it is very bad in the administration building as far as diversity. That is something that they definitely lack at. And I don't know if it's because, like I said, they are hiding certain applications from people. I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. I just know that diversity in the county itself is poor. I do believe they have better diversity out at the jail, at the corrections facility.
Yeah, I've been learning about this area. Like I said, I just retired about 10 years ago, close to 10 years ago. So I just started getting involved pretty much with what's going on around in the community. And yeah, I would say diversity is a problem.
Yeah.
It's a problem here.
Mhm.
Yeah. And the division is another problem. But I also see that a lot of things around here are based on a good old boy status.
Very.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, very, very much so.
Yeah. I'm one
But,
of the few women elected officials. Am I the only one now? I believe at the county level, other than the Commissioner Sharon Labrador, I'm the only female. It's hard. I get talked down to constantly. They won't listen to me. I have meetings where certain people won't even make eye contact with me because I'm a woman, or I've called them out on, telling other people I'm a pain in the ass. So I have not made friends trying to do my job to the best of my ability just because people don't want to listen.
So that's the big smoke screen. That you're not one of the good old boys. They'll let you in, and mostly they'll let you in before appearances.
Yes, very much. If they'll let me come up and stand at the podium when they need me to, when it's, something that looks good that a woman is supporting it. But when I have my, proposals or ideas, I'm shot down more than I'm, asked to give a speech about it or something.
Is there anything you do to resist that kind of nonsense, or
just
get together with other females or men that feel that way? I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
No, I just keep doing what I'm doing. I can't. I've tried to call them out publicly. It doesn't work because they don't embarrass. Like, they don't care that they're sexist. So me telling them in public that they're sexist, it doesn't matter. So I stopped doing that. I just continue to do the best that I can with my different projects that I want to get through, trying to help veterans, trying to help the lower income have access to attorneys. So those are the programs that I just keep pushing through. And I try to do it without having to have their permission, because I'd rather apologize later than ask permission, because they'll just tell me no.
So it seems like there's a lot you got to work through. Let me ask you about that. You just said something about the veterans. So what is it that you do for veterans?
So when someone dies, we have filing fees in the county that you have to pay for us to open up the estate. And when a veteran passed, and it's on the death certificate that tells us whether or not they served in the military, I wanted to help them somehow. And it's not helping the veteran because they're deceased. It is helping their family that's still here and is opening the estate. So with every Monroe County veteran that passes away and opens an estate, we waive the first $150 in fees to open that estate. And it's been fantastic. All of the local attorneys, you fill out a form and give us their DD-214. And they've been fantastic. They look at the death certificate now, and then we'll approach the family and say, hey, we can save you money. And we've had a lot of out-of-town attorneys that have come in and been just astounded that we are able to do something like this for veterans. So last year we were able to save veterans $14,000 in fees.
Wow. Wow. So is there any way that you can, as a veteran, if I wanted to give this information, would it be a good idea that I would give this information prior to something happening? Like if I gave it to you, is it stored on data somewhere that you have the information prior to?
So you can, if you're a veteran, you can bring in your DD-214, which is your discharge paperwork, and we will record it in the Recorder of Deeds office completely free of charge. So that's important because house fires happen, floods happen, you lose it. That document is vital for things like insurances, different programs, but also getting the veteran waiver once you've passed. So if that's recorded in my office, I'm able to then take it from the recorder side and give it to the register side so that, we can get that waiver processed.
So where's your office located at?
I'm in the administration building. So it's the old Sears building. It's across 6th Street from the courthouse. And I am on the first floor. I'm room 106 is the Recorder of Deeds, and then room 106A is the Register of Wills.
And that's in Stroudsburg.
In Stroudsburg, yep, right in the
right next by the courthouse, right across from the courthouse.
Yep.
Okay, on the first floor, room 106.
106.
Okay, just I want to put that information out there just in case anybody needs it. Okay, we're getting close to the end of our show. And I really do appreciate you coming on and giving that information. I wasn't trying to drill you about the DEI or stuff like that, but we got to know. People got to know. We got to put the information out there for what people are going to expect. People like myself, growing up, baby boomer. I was born before we were so-called integrated, so I got to see a lot of different things, and I see some things have changed. And I see other things have not, especially when it comes for women and even people that look like myself, African Americans. Okay. Women have got a hard time. I realize, a lot of women do have a hard time, and they get it from both ends. If they're a black woman, they get it because they're black and they're a woman.
Yep. Well, I'm a lifetime member of NCNW, just doing what I can to do what I can, because as my husband always said, for some reason, people will listen to people who look like us, which is terrible. So I just need to make sure that I am the mouthpiece for anybody who isn't getting that attention.
That's why I love Tara Probst.
Yep.
That's one woman I can say that she is definitely for real.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. With I don't. And a young man named Charles Kepler. I happen to really like him too. He has a lot of good things that I hear from him. He's running for county state committee. He's running on the state committee. Yeah, it's. I know it's a really low level position. You only see him a couple times a year. They get to do some work, but I'm hoping that he decides to further his what he wants to do as far as his political career, because I listen to him, and he's a young guy, very young guy, still in his 20s, and I listen to him, and the maturity that he has is he has a lot to say. I could see him being a senator or congressman or something like that.
Oh yeah, it's amazing. It's open to everyone, so the more the merrier. That's what I like, to have a group of people to pick from in any election. You get to pick the best one in your opinion.
Well, one of the guys that I really like that comes from my area is Kenyatta, Malcolm Kenyatta.
Yes. Yep.
Oh, love that man. Love what he's done. Love what he's doing. Love the progress. I watched him grow through his entire campaign until where he's at now, and even in the position he's at now. He does things, and I appreciate that.
Yep.
So yeah. Okay, so it's time for us to go. I want to say hello to your husband. Your husband.
I don't even know where he is.
Well, let me see. He's not in court. That's one thing.
He's not in court, but I don't even know if he's home.
Well, don't worry about it. He's a good man, so I'm sure he's somewhere, somewhere he's supposed to be.
Yes.
Not somewhere he's not supposed to be.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right, young lady. So we're going to call it a show.
All
Thank
right.
you again for coming on. And, you know, if we're lucky, we'll get to have you come on again.
Oh, I would
You
love
know,
to. Next time I have a new thing to talk about, I'd love to.
tell you, we started some conversations that could go a lot of different ways.
Hmm.
I'd like to bring you on again.
I'd love
And
it.
maybe we don't have to talk so much politics, but we can talk life.
That works for me.
You do have children.
I have 4 teenage girls.
And where are they growing up?
Where are they growing up? Here.
Right here. Well,
Right here.
everybody doesn't know where here is. You know
Oh,
where here is. I
yes,
know where
I'm in
everybody else
Strasbourg.
doesn't.
So my kids
Strasbourg.
grow up in Strasbourg.
Mm.
Where I grew
And
up.
you
We're
said-
going to the same school I went to. Still have some of the same teachers.
What do you feel about the school system here?
So I am
We're gonna save that. We're gonna save that one
Yeah.
for the return. That's where we'll start off at. We'll start
Love
off
it.
with children, school system, what it's like to be a mother here in Strasbourg, what problems you run into here. You got 3 girls.
4.
3 girls. So
Yeah.
when we talk about that 70 cents to $1, you know, you know what I mean? Is it
do.
going to be fair for them? How are they going to manage in this environment? Because they may not want to get married. Who knows? I don't know.
No.
People today, they're not looking to jump into the wedding thing right now. Everything is so expensive. School is expensive. Food is expensive. So, you know, how are they going to manage, especially being females, young ladies in this environment? But we'll get to that when we do part 2.
Perfect.
Okay. Again, tell the family I said hey,
I will.
and thank you again for coming on. It's
Thank
truly
you. Thanks for
appreciated.
having me.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you very much for tuning in. This is the Empowerment Show, and my name is Kendall Stevenson. I'm the host. Hopefully, you guys return. As we always say, be yourself. Everybody else is taken, and peace. Good night.
Welcome to the Empowerment Show, where knowledge meets action. Yeah. We break down barriers to financial literacy. Speak truth to power, real conversations. Oh, voices that inspire change, challenging the status quo. Tools for building wealth, taking control. Your future starts right now. This is the Empowerment Show.